Welcome to Villainous Cinema, the YouTube series, where we watch cult classics, B movies, VHS trash, and also we do breakdowns of really good movies on this, and also we do rumors and breakdowns. In which case, we are going to be doing a breakdown of one of the greatest movies that's ever been made. It's called The Thing. Barring technical difficulties aside, uh, we are with Julia and Julia. Would you like to say hi to the crowd?
Hello.
And Nicholas Valdez from Nikki from Costa Rica. Nikki, how you doing?
Hey, hi everybody.
Before we get started, we are a listener-supported podcast supported by people just like you. You can support Villainous Cinema by visiting patreon.com/villainouscinema, where you get to see all of our underlying things, where if you pop it open just for a little bit, you can see some of the things that you may not get to see. And then you can also go to villainouscinema.com, read some articles, watch some of our YouTube vids from the past, and listen to some of the podcasts. If you don't want to support us non-monetarily, just hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button. Just give some love, keep the lights on here, and leave a comment. Or if you want us to break down another movie, we'd be able to do that. And if not, then go fuck yourself. But no, definitely don't do that. I mean, although we all should be fucking ourselves on a regular basis.
Take yourself out to dinner first.
No. Take yourself out to dinner, get yourself nice and liquored up. Put some nice, negligee on, and then go fuck yourself. No, but all that being said, Julia, you are one of the first people we've had on the podcast since Pepe. Unfortunately, Pepe has a lot he's going through, so all love to Pepe. Great guy, amazing.
He'll be,
but yeah,
but he'll be back.
We got to talk about The Thing.
Yeah, we must.
How have we not talked about The Thing yet?
Well, because
you've been putting it off.
Being against it.
You've been against it.
I've been against the idea.
Okay.
But
of me actually having a good time talking about a movie that I absolutely adore and love and says the greatest movie of all time. I have a lot to say about this movie.
In this case, I think we should do Pink Flamingos because of this day.
I have enough to say about it, but not too. Okay.
What?
So why don't you start us out?
Oh, would you like to hear what this movie's about?
No, the way that I normally do for the movies. Let's.
Okay, cool. So for this movie breakdown, what would you like to? How should I approach this? Because I have so much. What should I say?
I think that the place that any breakdown should start is with the story.
Right on. So this is what I guess way back in the day. I think it goes all the way back to 1938, and it was a novella by John W. Campbell called Who Goes There or something like that, right?
Oh, whatever.
And it's basically they go to Antarctica and find this parasitic organism, and then it imitates and they basically start becoming other people. And in a lot of those other kind of movies around that time, it was just kind of like one of those action films when it was done in, I want to say 56. But it was it was in the 50s.
Honestly, I have not seen the original, so.
You never saw it? It's called The Thing from a Planet.
See,
Yeah, something like that.
Not being
Yeah, but this
best
was like one
friend
of
at
those
the
like this
moment.
was one of those like straight up like drive-in theater movies. Like this was around the time where drive-in theaters weren't even like a real thing. Like they were starting to go the way of the dinosaur. So they were trying to like kind of build it up.
Sasquatch movies were coming out.
Mm. Yeah. So like you would just go in and you know, you could watch some porn if you wanted. That's more for like the 60s and 70s for that part. But yeah, this was one of those drive-in movies, and for what it was kind of lampooned in a lot of ways, and you know, whatever. But the story itself like kind of carried on, and John Carpenter, you know, after off of doing Halloween, I think at this point, and he had done like, yeah, he was basically on the rise. So he was like, you know, let's see what we can do with like an alien monster movie, an alien sci-fi horror movie.
Chewing their way out your asshole or in your asshole or in and back out. Yes.
Wait, what? Wait, oh, hold on. Okay, so anyways, here's what happens in this movie. So yeah, I'm basically telling you, like, John Carpenter wanted to do something big, and this movie bombed, big time bombed. And I
still
think
can't believe that, because
the
like,
same fucking day this movie came out. Guess what other movie came out?
What?
A little movie called Blade Runner. The same exact fucking day.
Nice.
I mean, to be a kid in that movie theater at that point, come on. So yeah, so this is
it's like somebody coming to your birthday party and taking a shit on your cake.
Nah, man, you just spread icing everywhere. That thing was fucking amazing. That would have been one of the best times ever. Anyways, so hold on, let me bring it up.
Watch Blade Runner in the theater.
Could you imagine like watching Blade Runner and then The Thing and just trying to, you know, discover which one's the better movie? Could you imagine what a time of life that would have been?
I know that everybody.
I think that I would go Blade Runner any day of the week. But The Thing is like, it's a good fucking movie. I don't care what anybody says about it.
It was June 25th, 1982. Now that I'm looking at it, but that's a true story. And and the thing was critically bombed the entire way through.
That's what I mean. Like I can't believe that. In my heart of
hearts,
like,
so was Blade Runner.
When it came out and said, "Man, this sucks."
Wow, who would have known? It bombed?
Oh my goodness. Those bitches fucking suck on it.
No.
But like when you press it up, we're like, all right, we're gonna put you right next to the fucking the hottest lady in the pageant. I'll take a close second with The Thing.
Well, I'll say this though. Guess what? All right. Guess what? Guess what movie beat this one out? Rocky 3. Right? Guess what beat Blade Runner out? The same exact weekend, all these movies were released. Guess which one won the pony?
Fucking dude. I don't know. I don't watch those fucking shows.
You know what? I'd be surprised if you could actually guess which one.
Rocky 3 sucked. The worst out of all the Rockies.
No, it's not the worst. Rocky 4 was worse.
Isn't that like that 5 one or whatever where he's like fighting Tommy Gunn?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Tommy
Gunn. Like, I couldn't do it. I can do it.
It's like, isn't that a porn star?
Like, Rocky's on my list.
It does so sound like a porn star.
Boxcar Ed, you know, the triumphing story of a homeless guy. It's a porn star. Just beat the shit out of Rocky.
Anyway,
no. The movie that won the pony that weekend was E.T. Extraterrestrial. So you can see why sci-fi nerds were at that point kind of mesmerized, and they were not into such bleak movies such as The Thing or Blade Runner.
No.
Same weekend. Same weekend.
I mean,
Those bitches were treated.
Yeah, man. Isn't it cool how we've evolved as a society? You know, 40 years later, we're like, yeah, man, what the fuck were we thinking? E.T. sucks.
like, I don't know. Everybody loves E.T. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. But you're also talking about two other movies that we absolutely adore.
But also, everybody loves Blade Runner. I'm not a fan. I see why it's good, but I'm not a fan.
Oh, I was really close though. It was 1951. It was called A Thing from Another World. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I have the thing from Uranus stuck in my fucking head.
Yeah, have you guys ever seen The Thing from Another World? No.
Yes, no. When he was talking about it, my phone was chipping out. So like the remix.
The remix.
I've never seen it, but
I love how you call it the remix. You're talking about the 2011 prequel, right? The one with the kid from Fired Up and Zero Dark 30.
that wasn't a prequel.
It was a prequel. It was beat for beat the same exact movie, but it was considered to be a prequel, but it was the same exact fucking movie.
Okay. Well, for me, that's just a remake because it was beat for beat the same movie, and it wasn't bad, but it was a total remake of the remake.
Yeah, but you know what sucked about it the most was all the CGI effects. You know, I think I think we can all agree that what makes The Thing such a great movie is the practical effects.
No, we can't agree on
What?
that.
No, we're not going to agree that the practical effects were like on par, like for 1982.
The practical effects at this point are dated.
Yeah, no, but like I'll still take it over the fucking everything's just CGI. There's no art to acting anymore because like just fucking fill it in on a fucking like screen.
And
yeah,
for sure say
there's no love in it.
Whether it's practical or whether it's not. The important thing is
now
it's
good. Okay. You gotta understand that I have absolutely all the I consider this to be the greatest movie ever made. So
yeah, well
I'm wrong. I know you say I'm wrong. You said
no,
what was
wrong.
You said Apocalypse Now is the greatest movie ever made.
No, I didn't. I said
That's
that it in the list of think to be the greatest of all time. If you remember correctly, I've never actually answered to you what is the greatest movie of all
time. I think at one point you did say Psycho, and I was like, okay, I'll see that. I'll see your Psycho. But then we did Rear Window, which we still need to post.
I've never answered you, okay? But most definitely it's not the same.
It's a loving question.
Go on. Julia, why are you staring at me like that?
I'm not staring at anything except for my cat and the cigarette.
Oh, you got this like disappointed look on your face.
Anyway.
I'm not very disappointed. Like,
hold on. Julia had a point though.
Julia,
what was your point that you were gonna say?
It's gone with one, man. It's gotta go when it goes. It'll come back around.
Okay. Well, if this is not the greatest movie of all time, what would you say it is?
I would say it's a pretty goddamn good movie. Okay.
Would you say it's one of the greatest remakes of all time?
I would, I'm not going to go so far as to say that because it would be, okay, but also on top of that, it's one of the greatest horror movies ever made. Like, now I can disagree with a lot of points in it, okay, and I can disagree with the fact that I do think that there are other films that have better practical effects and that are not as dated as this one.
Okay. Like
okay.
What? All right. I'll pose this question. What's one movie that freaks you out to this day?
No. By the way, Julia, your ventriloquist work is incredible. Go on.
I have to have something on point.
Yeah, she doesn't really look like that, guys.
I don't know what I look like because I can't see myself.
Well, the disappointing face.
This is fucking evidence what the fuck I look like.
Sorry, I'm just fucking with you. I fuck with you because I love you. All right, go on.
But no, what the one movie to this day that fucking freaks you out?
What, this movie?
Hmm?
This is one movie that freaks you out.
Yeah.
Why does it freak you out?
Broad category.
Because you're a huge horror fan. You're a huge cinebuff. You know, like what
Dude,
what is it that freaks you out about this?
For this day.
Like name one scene that freaks you out. Name one scene that freaks you out.
In Event Horizon.
In The Thing.
Oh no,
yeah.
Not. I was thinking broad category, like one movie in general that totally fucking freaks you out.
Well, so you're saying that's a very, very long episode of you being freaked out.
Yeah. Like, dude, that movie I stole it on VHS and it freaks me out this fucking day.
Are there many movies that do that?
I can't. The 14 of it makes me want to fucking break the DVD and cut somebody with it.
I'd say this, and this is just coming from my own point of view.
There's another one that just gets under my skin. But Event Horizon, ever since I saw it when I was a little dude.
Event Horizon.
Yeah.
Part of the Villainous Cinema Collective, definitely.
One of my all-time favorite horror movies, like horror/sci-fi, totally scares the fuck out of me to this day.
We can have another talk about Event Horizon. I could actually have another talk about The Thing again, but should we just tell everyone what this movie is about? By the way, should we go over the initial novella that was based around, or should we talk about how it was brought into? Let's do it.
Go over what this movie is about, like what the story is.
In 1938, there was a short novella written by John W. Campbell Jr., but he was writing under the pen name of Donnie Stewart. I guess that was a thing back then because you didn't want people to know who you were and whatever. Now everyone wants to know that. But it follows a group of people trapped in the Antarctic research post with shape-shifting alien monsters able to absorb and imitate any live being. The novel was first published in August 1938. Issue of Astounding Science Fiction is also printed as The Thing from Another World, an extended novel version, now found in a manuscript called Frozen Hell, which was published in 2019. So, The Faithful Treatment by John Carpenter is the most adapted one. There was A Thing from Another World that was done in 1951. I missed that one by a couple of years, but yeah. And so with this movie though, and he wanted to remake a movie that was going to kind of mimic the sort of thing that what's his name? Shoot, he did Scanners. He remade The Fly. Cronenberg. Remade The Fly, so he was trying to do something like that, but he said he could do it better. And I don't know, they're both pretty good. But yeah, it was one of those things where everyone kept saying that if you're going to remake a movie, do it with some flair. Do it with let's change what people think about things. And these are both guys that had already changed what the horror genre was all about. So by putting in all these like practical effects and sci-fi effects, it's like, yeah, what if we did like a monster movie? What if we did a sci-fi monster movie from like a bunch of like aliens, you know, like coming in and blah blah blah. James Cameron did that too, where he basically remade Halloween with Alien, and then no, that was Ridley Scott, but yeah, James Cameron came back around and did that with the Terminator, and then they said, well, you should do that with that. So I mean, like these slasher kind of movies were around for a while. It's just that they got like juice. They got juiced, and even Wes Craven took it like another. Hey, all right. So yeah, but Wes Craven even took it a further step with doing the Nightmare on Elm Street, and I myself am a huge fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, so
I stopped liking it around 4.
that's the one slasher you could not get away from. Why? Because we all go to sleep. There's no escaping Freddy. If you want to, he's in your dreams, man. You cannot beat him. You're done. But yeah, this thing from another world, like this thing could not be beat either. So, you know, you're hoping that these guys in this Antarctic. Oh, by the way, do you know the difference between Arctic and Antarctic? Well, fun information.
Let's not get into that.
It's Arctic means bears, and Antarctic means no bears. So fun fact for all the kids. Anyways, so yeah, this movie is in the Antarctic, so South Pole, and yeah, like it's like they find a dog, right? And they don't just find this dog. There are people actively hunting this dog, and they're shooting at it from a helicopter, but they don't speak English, right? So they're like shooting at this thing. They're like, keep that thing away from me. Keep that thing away. And like the dog's just like, hey, I just want you home. And they're like, hey, stop shooting at that dog. Then all of a sudden, dog finds a new nest. They shoot the people in the helicopter, the Swedes, and race, like national relations are now at an all-time high in Antarctica. And also maybe some PETA movements. Thoughts on the dog killing?
Literally never seen Cannibal Holocaust.
No, that's completely different. That's actually just killing human beings, man. They're worthless. Fuck them. But shooting a dog, really?
Okay. Evan, why don't you tell me why this movie's good?
Well, I'll also say this though, is that scene, one of the most horrific scenes, is when the dog actually goes into the dog kennel and and starts to meld into the other dogs. Now, I think that's the most romantic scene of this movie. Hold on. Because this movie has everything. It's got intrigue, mystery, character arcs, development, story arc, everything. It's everything. It even has romance, and I think the most romantic scene is when the dog becomes like all the dogs, and it escapes through the vents.
It's good. It's got some decent characters and some nice tension to it, and nice climax. Okay, I'll give you that. It's not.
It has everything, Nikki. It has everything.
No, in any one direction, not like superb. Okay, let's put it that way. But it's pretty good. And
Julia, thoughts?
That's it.
Is Julia there? Is she listening?
Yes, sir.
Hey, so what do you think about that? What do you think about that dog scene? Fucked up, right?
I like had to clutch my chest a little bit when you said it's the most romantic scene in the movie. It was like, I can kind of see that.
Aww. See, it is one of the most romantic scenes, Nikki. You heartless prick.
Fucking, it's
like,
It's like, I love you. I love you. I love all of you. Let's all become one. Like, but I don't like you. It's like, too late. My love is unforgiving.
I'm sorry. It's just okay.
What's actually kind of interesting about this movie, though, is actually everything's interesting about this movie because it's one of the greatest movies that's ever been made. So John Carpenter himself was like kind of ousted from Hollywood after this because I guess this movie bombed so bad that they were like, yeah, no, we're cutting ties with you, or all that, and which is fine. I mean, because John Carpenter went on to do a lot of other movies. I don't know. What's one of your favorites? Julia? Julia? Are you there?
My brain just got.
No, I was just gonna say, like, what's one of your favorite John Carpenter movies?
I don't like any work that he did on Nightmare on Elm Street. I will have to be incredibly honest.
No, he didn't do Nightmare on. That was Wes Craven.
No, Wes Craven did it, but he had work to do on it with some of the later fucking Nightmare on Elm Street. So they fucking collaborated on some of that fucking shit. Look up, nigga. Don't like that. I like
All right. Well, I mean, if you don't say Escape from New York or Big Trouble in Little China, you're already out.
Oh, I thought we were going straight horror. No, fucking escape movies are fucking great. I still want to know what the fuck happened in Detroit.
Big Trouble in China was funny. But why does he choose Kurt Russell? He's not that good of an actor.
Fucking like, Kurt Russell is fucking pussy nigga. Like,
God.
that's the fucking, man. Kurt Russell, I love him in everything. Except for, I really can't stand his fucking face. But like the escape movies are fucking fantastic. But like, dude, my mom loves Overboard with a passion. If I ever see that shit again, somebody will be cut.
This is bad.
That is one Kurt Russell movie I can't stand.
That's all I can say.
I
think Snake and Escape from LA and all that bullshit. Like,
dude, like, those were a couple of great movies. I wasn't fucking Big Trouble in Little China, dude. Like, that was a fantastic ass fucking movie.
You're awful.
Yeah, did you say it was awful? You didn't say Big Trouble in Little China was awful.
Oh, man.
Do you know my mom? She's very, very, very big on all this, and she actually probably yelled this out just now. There was a movie in 1969 that she loves him from, and it's called The Computer That Wore Tennis Shoes. And so he was like a really big Disney kid at that point, but he was able to kind of graduate into the world of cinema, like with movies such as The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China. He was but this was his first. This was his second outing with John Carpenter. His first one being Escape from New York, which we can talk about definitely. Yeah, a lot of these different actors and things that were in this movie, they turned this down. A lot of actors turned this down the entire way through, and actually, even the film score by Ennio Morricone, they had to convince him to do the job, and even some of his outtakes are used in other films, even The Hateful Eight and things like that. So, like, even things that he made for it weren't even necessarily used for it. And then they had the guy who worked on, Eric Jensen, who worked on The Howling with them, and Mold Makers, and basically like some of the greatest practical effects that you could possibly see. They nail it, and it stays 40 years later. So, I mean, like, you can say what you want about horror movies today and jump scares, but I feel like the greatest jump scare that happened in this movie was the one where I guess McCready, Kurt Russell, right, has this inkling, and he's like, all right, I've figured everything out. Even though he could not beat Master Chess, because Master Chess was already a program. And we could talk about the Master Chess program because that comes up earlier. And it was like, he was in an unbeatable position. So it's already smarter than he is, right? So it's a program that's already supposed to win. Like, there's no like, you cannot beat it. And so he pours his fucking vodka or whiskey all over it, right? And explodes the computer, which is also unnatural stuff. But he's just like, he gets pissed off and just pours his fucking drinks all over it. But so he's put in a position that he could not possibly win. And when you think about this as far as McCready is, he's kind of just this gunslinger. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking take care of everything, blah blah blah. But he's against all odds here, and putting Kurt Russell into this role, I think, was probably one of the most beautiful things, because you're not saying that this is a really smart guy. Like, you have smart guys on the team. Smart guys are there. Those are the science guys, and they're out there to do a job, blah blah blah. But you also have the engineers, the guys that are out there just being like, okay, cool, but we have to dig through God knows how much amount of ice, and what kind of drills are we using, what kind of things we're using, what are we doing to get down there, blah blah blah, and shit like that. Why are we here? That sort of thing. And McCready's just like, yo, I'm a grunt. I don't understand anything, but I know this is fucked up. And he takes control. And my favorite scene is the part where McCready takes charge. And he says to everybody, he's like, all right, cool. I've got the flamethrower now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to test everyone's blood. And I don't like jump scares in movies. I mean, it's used way too much. But with this one, it just lasts. And it lasts and it lasts. This scene just lasts for so long that you're just like, well, it could be that guy. And the paranoia kind of like starts to, show its ugly head. And then you're like, oh, it could be that guy. Or it could be that guy. And then McCready's like, he just like all of a sudden just lays like, well, you were the last one to be here, so I guess you're the one, like, and he lights it on fire, and he just like that, and they're like, uncuff me. That was a great moment. And you don't get moments like that anymore, because I don't think like people are invested in the characters.
I don't think anybody puts as much stock into it as you do.
I just love this movie.
It's a great.
Anyway, should we talk about the end of the movie?
Yeah. For sure.
How ambiguous is that? Like I feel like no one should ever talk about like the end of that movie. Oh. Sasha, say hi.
Sasha said hi. Yeah, me say hi.
She's the most beautiful cat in the world.
But I'm just like taking my
Alright.
crowns.
So let's talk about the end of the movie. And I feel like this is something that all right, well, actually, Julia, what do you think about this movie before we start getting into it? Because I feel like this is where Nikki's gonna shine. Nikki loves this movie only for like the reason that it ends the way that it does. And we both agree, by the way. So this is one of the very, very few things that we both agree on. Well, we do agree. But yeah. It's usually story arc. What is the culmination? Why are we watching this sort of thing? Which is why Nikki and I talk about these kind of movies. But what? Yeah. So what's what? If you were to culminate what happens with the thing, what would you take away from this?
I need to watch the movie again because I completely have it confused with the other fucking movie that I was thinking about.
Well, how do you
A lot of different perspectives on it.
Tell us about the ending, Evan.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to the thing?
Well, what we learned from this alien being is that it's very resourceful.
Keep your butthole tight.
There is also a postulation that I read on Reddit, of course, because that's where I get all my information. There is a postulation that maybe the thing, the organism itself, was in survival mode at that point and was trying to just like do whatever it could to survive.
Yeah.
There is that. There also is the whole thing where it kills the dogs and all the people and all that. So yeah, so you got that.
I mean, that could be. That would make it a kind of.
What's more of a forced perspective, I think, at that point.
Interesting perspective, because then that would mean, depending on the perspective you're looking from.
Yeah, now Kurt Russell's the bad guy.
Yeah, like both of them are in survival mode, essentially.
Yeah, in which case, like, who's the bad guy? And then there was this thing that I watched earlier today where someone was saying, like, there is no bad guy. There's just forced perspective.
Oh, no. The one that blows up, that's the bad
guy. No one blows up, though. Wait, no. Someone set on fire. Guy gets his hand chopped off. Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like anything that's trying to kill someone else maliciously is an enemy, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah. Well, is a villain.
Oh, also, guys, villainouscinema.com. Pledge to our Patreon. I got all the villains. Anyways, but yeah.
Enemy, but it is a villain.
Yeah. So okay, all right. Let's kind of finish. We didn't talk about Blair. Which Blair is one of my favorite characters because Blair was diabetes. I mean, he had diabetes out there in Antarctic, but he didn't. Wilford Brimley did not have his push from nose, so he was not as guilty. So everyone's taken out, right, at certain points by their own people.
Yeah.
And some of them may or may not have been the thing. They were just killing each other.
But no, because the thing killed a lot of the people.
Yeah, so they were scared to shit. They started killing each other.
Yeah. So the thing killed all the people.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, he did. That was part of
No, the people killed each other. Julia, can you get on board with this one?
He just didn't directly.
Yeah, I'm on board.
So yeah, the thing was fucking terrible, and it was, maliciously, killing people and turning people against each other. But, in survival mode, that fucking alien was just like, well, why don't I just turn them against each other since I have this ability?
Yeah, well, he did both.
Because they're trying to flame kill this thing.
Yeah.
In the middle of the Antarctic.
Yes, I mean, he had reason to try and get them to kill each other, but he still killed them.
I don't know.
I mean, he's most definitely the villain. He started shit. He's the one that fucking killed the first one. Okay?
Why is it a he? Why isn't it a she? No, I feel like the most dangerous ones would be like, it's like a she, and she's able to breed. It's like, oh fuck.
How can you even trust something called the Thing? Of course, it's the bad guy. It's the Thing.
The uterus. No, sorry. What is that movie? The Octopussy, where it's like 8 tentacles.
No.
Wait, no, it's a different movie.
It was a James Bond movie.
But I've been getting fucking confused with the damn fucking
a thing.
Fucking SSID fucking shot train catcher.
Wait, hold on.
Anyway, I will say one last thing about the Thing.
No. I know what you're gonna say. I already know what the fuck you're gonna say.
What?
It's not a perfect movie because what? Say it. You know why.
What? Tell me.
No.
Because I'd like to know.
You've said this before. Said there's no romance. There's no connection with anyone else. There's no connection between any of these people except for what we're built with. There's no character development. And I say, niet. Got tons of character development. You care about all these characters. Now, that's not romance in itself.
Somewhat character development. They don't have a lot of connection, okay? But that doesn't...
What do you mean there's no connection? They're in the middle of the fucking Antarctic. Where are they supposed to go? It's like, hey, man, I don't like you. I don't like you either. All right, let's get along.
It goes with that into this fucking bird.
Hey,
there's a guy on roller skates, for God's sake. There's a guy on roller skates that's listening on his headphones because he's just like, yep, I'm the only black guy here who gives a fuck.
Yeah, like I'm saying.
And I'm making food for people. What kind of food do you think they were making?
I don't
It was
know.
like plastic bags, and he's like, "Hey guys, how you feeling?" Oh, that guy Windows. That guy Windows was my favorite. Yeah, and he gets fucking stabbed through the thing. Oh, by the way, the TK Carter who was on Saved by the Bell, was it Saved by the Bell? Whatever. He was on his roller skates the entire time. Never find out what happens to him. That is one of my hugest regrets, that we never find out what happened. We never get a death scene for rollerblading TK Carter.
No confirmation.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
I did. You know what did that to me? The fucking Fresh Prince of fucking Bel Air.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I think it was epic.
What the?
Did it like 1, 2, and 3, I believe. But like at fucking the end of it, like they all moved out of the fucking house and like fucking like all this fucking crazy shit, and like it's just Will being sat in the middle of the room, but like shit that dude say.
Anywho. No.
Anyways, so are we gonna finish up what happens at the end of this movie?
Yeah. We are going to.
Because I feel like the ending of this movie is more important than pretty much anything that happens. I mean, everything that happens leads up to it.
I feel
Right.
like the last
But
third of
hold on. But I also say this too, is that, you know, given that, you know, Valentine's Day has drifted away and all that shit, you know, everyone's like, blah blah, where's the fucking story arc and all that? I'm like, all these characters have very, very, very strong story arcs. There is no love between any of these fucking cockheads, you know, like going at each other, trying to kill each other. It's more like this is a survival mode. And then you cannot actually have no one but the first one. No one but the ultimate that gets it at the end. Right? Am I right? Am I right? There's only one way one wins. There's only one way that one of these motherfuckers are going to win.
I think that the the last third of this movie is that you're given the most information of all of the thirds. Like,
are we
even
doing? We're in closer territory right now, so we're finishing up everything. I'm sorry, guys. So spoiler alert. Here's what the fuck happened in 1982's The Thing. And if you're even like blasting on this right now, dude, come on. Anyways, go on. Here's what happens at the end. Nikki, would you like to?
no. You tell them, you know better.
So here's what happens at the end of The Thing, right? The Thing has apparently built a subterranean basement. Now, this is Wilford Brimley at this point, right? He's built a basement to where he's going to take off in a spaceship he's made or he's found. Undiscernible. Now, at this point, what
had a sequel to the Thing?
Well, but here's the other part, is that you cannot have a sequel to The Thing because McCready, Kurt Russell, goes down there and fucking just he sucks the fuck out of him. Say that. Gets back upstairs and he says, fuck it. Lights the entire fucking motherfucker on fire. He says, "This is it. You know, like I'm going to die here, right?"
Yeah.
And he sits down. He sits down with Childs, and Childs and him look at each other. Just smoke. You know what else? Yeah. Say to yourself, "I'll last you out." And he's like, "I'll last you out." And you don't know whom the alien is. It might have been McCready. It might have been Childs. At the end of the movie, the two guys that took everyone out are stuck there together in the Antarctic. They're not going anywhere. Like the entire place is fucked. Like you and I are gonna die together, baby. Here's a.
Only one.
And on that note,
Yeah. Where'd it go?
so on this note,
So,
a little bit of this, let's smoke. Get it over. That is quite possibly the greatest movie that I've ever seen in my entire life.
no, that can't be. But anyway, it's okay. You know.
Look,
It's a great movie.
what are you kidding?
I'm not a huge fan. Like, I'd far rather like Alien or
Look,
I don't know.
I'll say this right now. I'm sorry, Julia, your fucking your camera's not working. This is quite possibly the greatest movie that's ever been made.
No. But that's okay.
I can hear you. I can't see you.
That's okay for you to believe that. But
What?
no. It's okay for you to believe that.
Believe what?
But
Can I listen to Julia for a second? Hold on, Julia. Have you been seeing what we've been talking about this entire time?
What are you talking about?
Wait, wow, you can see us, right?
Yeah, I can see y'all.
All right.
Well, I
But
can't
we
see y'all
can't
right
see
now.
you though. We can't see you.
Well, I told you my shit's been acting like a dick all motherfucking day.
All right. Wait, we can't see you though.
but
All right.
it doesn't mean that this isn't a good movie. It means I'm not a big.
Can I? I know
But
you think.
I'm trying,
No,
you know.
hold on.
I don't know where this fucking shit. I don't apparently know how to put my fucking phone in correctly.
oh man.
Okay. Can we do like a part 2 on this? That'd be great. Yeah, we could. Let me go ahead and say this is. Can I show you guys some analysis or anything, or are you guys interested in any sort of cultural impact or sequels or anything like that? Nothing.
Like I mean, I wish I could, but I actually have to head off.
Well,
So
either way, here's a quick one here. In development too, it was highly disputed that John Carpenter would be able to take over any sort of adaptations. Then you have budget of $15 million, which is fucking skyrocket, right? Like in 1982, way long ago. And you have the box office, which was 19.6. So box office bomb. The Thing was a box office bomb.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's
and a lot of the developed. Can I tell you a little bit about this? Because The Thing is really awesome. The writing for this had several writers develop drafts for the Thing before Carpenter even became involved, including Logan's Run, which we can talk about. A Moby Dick-like story, like the captain did battle with a non-shifting creature, blah blah. This didn't work, things like that. But Bill Lancaster actually met with the writer and came back, and then he was like given the impression that they were closely to replicate the Thing from Another World, and he did not want to remake that film. And again, Lancaster was contacted again, said again, it's like, I don't know. And then Carpenter was a fan.
I'm going to say goodbye to the audience because I wish I could sail around, but I got to get ready for a flight tomorrow, and it is extremely late, and I'm going to sleep. So I'm going to have to say peace.
Oh, okay. All right.
Good night, man.
And let's do it when I get back in the country. And hopefully we can get Julie on video that time, okay? And we can also do that episode of The Great Escape and The Dirty Dozen, and some other episodes that we have planned.
Okay. So, just to let everyone know, thank you so much for even watching this far. I know, like we talked a bunch of shit. We're probably gonna start doing westerns for a minute.
Like westerns, or like how far are we going back, or just like
Julia?
western in general?
Is that Julia?
Yeah. But
where are you?
Exactly. How far we're gonna...
Oh no, she's not. Okay. Oh.
You know that we're gonna do an episode on the Wild Bunch here coming soon.
Yeah. But you were also saying I believe you were saying The Great Escape and also The Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, I want to do
I think that's what you
Great Escape an episode. We want to do some Western episodes. So we'll probably start with the Wild Bunch.
Yeah, I feel like the Wild Bunch is the best one to start with.
But there's some other ones that I want to take a look at, you know, that are kind of classic Westerns.
Blazing Saddles.
Are you still
Westerns.
there?
Hello. But you know, leave
comments
if you want.
Greatest Westerns. Great.
What? No, just which westerns? There's fucking like hundreds.
Yeah. Hey.
Like how do I start?
We'll start with the Wild Bunch, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
I mean, that's a good one to go with because, like, I feel like the kind of movies that I love spur from that. Like, I don't just say, for instance, like, if we went for like a fistful of dollars or some shit, right? And then we'd have to go back into where Red Harvest came from, and then like Yojimbo, and then like start going through Japanese shit. We're like, it'd be a deep dive for us.
Sometimes it's easiest to start from the beginning.
It'd be a deep dive for your boys.
Yeah. So like I said, we're gonna start.
Because we're not dumb. We're not like entrepreneurs or anything. We're just like, oh, cool. Where'd this come from? Where'd this come from? Where'd this come from? Where'd this come from? And then, you know, it most of the time.
To be inquisitive by nature.
No, but also,
I gotta go.
We both, Nikki and I both know that we have this huge a collection of movies that we've seen from other countries, like foreign movies, and that we're like. All right. Anyways, hey Nikki, I love you, miss you. Bye.
We'll see you for the next episode. Love you guys. I'll see you next, Julia, and leave comments on specific movie to be reviewed.
Love you. Bye.